Hey guys, welcome back to the 37 podcast. Chad ain't here. I'm Rip the Sloth sitting in today for Chad.
Okay, let's
we've got Blake and Chili and Cornbread. How's going on? What's up, man? What's going on?
We're glad to have you here as our host today, Rip.
Oh, I forgot Paris James over there. I'm just sitting in. I ain't gonna say much. I'll hand it over to Blake.
Thanks for having us, Rip. We're glad that you're here.
No problem.
That's big. I hope you chime in a little bit more throughout the conversation here. Have you met Rip before, Chili?
I don't even know.
I told you Rip was going to be on today, and you wasn't.
Yeah, and I was fine
him.
with it until I just met Rip.
You'd never heard his voice before?
No, and to be quite honest, I'm irritated.
What are you irritated
That's
about?
Disrespectful to our guest, man.
Well, whatever. I mean, why do you talk like that?
I get typically a sloth doesn't talk like that fast pace because they're real slow, but he is amped up a lot of time.
Yeah, well, I guess we're just going to be at odds today, but I'm here, and Cornbread's here, and you're here, and Chad's,
And Rip.
Wherever he is. So
That's Rip Wolf.
this is
Yeah.
Rip Wolf.
Got
Rip
a dang
Wolf.
turtle sitting in his lap, too.
Yeah, that's his bud. Yeah, well, thanks for opening up the show, Rip. We're glad you're here today.
No problem.
That's big. That's big.
I'm also agitated that he won't stop trying to tell us and ask us about riddles
Oh, yeah,
constantly.
always. Yeah, Rip. You don't know Rip like I know him, but he's bad about that.
You want to hear one now?
No, later.
What's a bear without ears?
A B.
You're right.
That's a good one. That's a good one right there, Rip.
Holy crap. You didn't even tell it right, Rip.
Well, you guys may be wondering why we have this shrine out here on the desk.
This is just...
Tell them about it, Chili. Tell them about this shrine.
Well, I will tell you about it because I kind of regret that we just opened it up off camera because we got so excited when we saw it was from our buddy Tim Wolf, who, Basic Course Team 31, Pukin' Tim, as sometimes he affectionately calls himself.
Yeah. Pukey.
Pukey. Man, that was hilarious. We have named that spot that he puked at.
Yeah.
That's the Pukin' Tim ledge.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't come up with a better name, but that's what
He
it's
was up
called.
there being dramatic, wasn't he?
Yeah, Tim, awesome. Got to meet him on Basic Course Team 31, and we went to check the P.O. box today, and this ginormous, massive 100-pound box was in there. And did you know this is a Chick-fil-A waffle fry box?
Yeah, it's what they used to ship waffle fries to Chick-fil-A in bulk.
Yeah,
That's how much stuff he sent.
massive.
This ain't even all of it.
And we just, I regret we didn't open it on camera because we were all smiling and laughing and reading all the notes and setting it all out and seeing the drawings that his child's made for us.
Yeah. Yeah, them are good.
There's Hunter right there.
Yeah, I think Hunter sent this turtle right here.
Yep.
Let me get him up on his feet.
See it?
Yeah.
And, yeah, all kinds of drawings. And I don't know. It was just really cool. We've lots of local fare, which I really like local fare. Like
Yeah,
this
now
here,
I don't know if I'm going to dabble into this, Tim.
No, but that's local.
I don't know about this. This is
no.
Cairo corn, sugar, flakes, peanut butter.
That's what the locals start to miss when they travel. So they vacuum seal it up and take it with them.
This might be good on an ultra marathon to eat.
When you're
this.
from Kentuckiana, that's what you eat.
This looks like something Dad would eat when his A1C is low.
Oh my gosh. What's in it?
It's Cairo
Peanut
syrup,
Oh,
corn flakes, and peanut butter.
I bet that's good.
I mean, that'll tie you over.
I bet that's good.
Yeah, you guys may have to bust into that in a little bit.
Now, why are you being that way?
I'll try it.
I'll definitely
I'll try it too. Why are you being that way? You won't eat that?
I might. I don't know about that.
Dang.
What's up with this right here, Chili? You know about that.
Now, I do know about these. I have had many AL8s. That's what I call them. Some people call them a late one. I call them AL8s.
What is it, like a ginger ale?
No, it's better. Have you ever had Dr. Enough? That's another local.
Is it like that?
It's similar. Now, Dr. Enough is my favorite soda, but this is also, this is high on the list here. I wish I hadn't had this before, because this would be.
Oh, it is ginger with a hint of citrus.
Yeah, well, I said not exactly. It ain't ginger ale. Don't call it that.
Yeah.
But this is a Kentucky bluegrass fave here.
It's got corn sweetener in it.
Well, yeah,
That's going to be good.
That's what they sweeten things
And
up there.
caffeine. So that's going to be
And
big.
ginger settles your stomach, you know, if you
Yeah.
ever get nervous having to do something,
Nervous.
or if you ever get pukey out on a hike or something,
Yeah,
you have
pop
one.
you a late one.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, this is big. I mean, this is big. Look at the Lego hands on this thing.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Look, local honey.
Leavenworth.
Now, I think local honey is good for your allergies.
Isn't Leavenworth where the brig is? The prison? There's some kind of military prison up there or something?
I don't know. I ain't got
Don't ask me.
I think it is.
I think it is.
If Rip says it is, then it is.
Leavenworth, Indiana honey. I think I don't know that we can eat this though down here in Georgia.
Really?
It might mess us up because it's not local. I'm just kidding, but
Oh, well, it's Fort Leavenworth, Kansas.
oh gosh.
Is where that's at.
Well, look at the color on that honey. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's corn. We gave that to corn.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna
So
eat
don't be
that.
messing with it.
He's gonna take that honey.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna eat
his.
that. Thank you, Tim.
Well, Chili, this spurred on the thought that you wanted to talk about on the podcast.
Well, it really did. He
Something you'd been thinking about already.
Well,
you
I'm not
said.
done either. Tim also sent us all a letter, and he sent me these books. And I don't really read very much. We've had that discussion before. I don't really read, but I'm gonna read that book. That's very interesting to me, and it spurs on, or it reminds me of a lot of the talk that me and Tim had on the basic course. And like Blake is saying, oh yeah, Chad got a thing too that we didn't open it, but we looked in it
Yeah,
because
in his absence.
in his absence, he got some local tobacco there that I might hit me a lap of that too.
Yeah.
So
Mammoth Cave.
Mammoth Cave, Big Duke.
Yeah.
But no, Tim was an awesome dude, and this was really cool. And yeah, he just sent us all kinds of stuff. And really, I don't know, man. Like, I'm fortunate to have people that I'm close to in my life. I've talked about it before. You know, obviously you guys and my family and some extended family. You know, so that's not. I mean, for somebody to care about me or show me love or care or want to do nice things or, you know, all that is not new to me. And like, I try not to take that for granted, but I don't know, something about it whenever it's somebody that, you know, is not my family. Mm-hmm. I guess it just strikes me different. I'm not used to that. It's not weird. It's weird in a good way of like
Unexpected.
yeah, like why do they care so much about me and why and us and why, you know, would they take the time to do this? And it made me think about all kinds of people a part of 3 of 7 Project along with Tim that are like that, you know. I mean, Tim is a really, really special dude, but you know, the whole 3 of 7 Project community is just different and something I really don't want to take for granted. You know, like I just speaking for myself, I'm really, really appreciative of the people that we train with.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, everybody that listens to the podcast, everybody that watches on YouTube, anybody who's associated with 3 of 7 Project, I'm thankful for, and I don't want to minimize that, but really the people that we train with and have met and know on a, you know, a deeper level and actually did something hard with or really got to train with, and man, I'm thankful for those people, and I really don't want to take that for granted, and I don't want to. I mean, I'll say I don't want any of us to.
Yeah.
Because I feel strongly about how much it matters, and everybody that we've trained with, I genuinely care about and love, and I hope they know that coming from us, because I mean, as I was sitting here thinking about this and opening this package, when do we ever really talk about that? I mean, we say thank you, and I mean, I think hopefully we do a good job of showing that we're appreciative, but I don't think we show enough. I don't think I do. I mean, I find myself taking it for granted, and I don't want to do that. It's really cool that we're able to do what we're able to do, and do the training missions that we're able to do, and do the regular work we're able to do, and that, like, we can't forget that we don't work for ourselves. Like, we work for these people. I mean, not direct. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that's who we work for. I mean, that's what the 3 of 7 Project community is what allows us to do what we do.
Right.
Without them, we don't do this. So, I don't know. It's just really cool, and I wanted to take the time to express how thankful I am for you, Tim, and everybody else that's a part of the body of 3 of 7 Project.
Yeah, it's a blessing that the Lord would make you useful to be able to be a part of people's lives like that, and be able to have some sort of impact on people's lives for things that matter, for things that are eternal. Because we have our own struggles and our own things going on and feel unworthy and really are. And the people that we train with feel that way too, but that's the feeling is reciprocated, because not one of us is really any better than the other.
Right.
They were there to be able to provide this gift or this blessing or this thing to this person, and we were on the other side of things. And it's just how the body of Christ works. And it's not just like, this is really cool getting all of this stuff, just different things that are meaningful to him or local to his town, and sharing that with us. But we also appreciate the letters that we get. Just
Absolutely.
The emails or the letters, the things where you took time to explain whatever you got out of it, because like Chili said, I tell people that's the currency that I work for, because I could go make money doing something. I mean, I'm going to. So everybody's got to make money. And so you can go do it other places, and Mike could even make more money doing other things. But you're not going to be getting the fulfillment. You're not going to be operating in what the Lord has called you to do, which is the biggest thing. And when you're not doing that, you're not fulfilled. Life is not going to go well for you.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think about it, Corn? I think you do a really good job of always telling people, and even things that I hear you say around us, about how appreciative you are.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you do a great job of that.
Yeah, not only the people that come and train. There's a different element to that, because you're out there and you see them going through these ups and downs through their training and whatnot. But the people on Patreon, people just in general in the community that message on Instagram, like, a lot of these people ain't just people I know because we trained with them and I think they're cool and they got great personalities and their followers are like, a lot of them's become my friend.
yeah.
Will from the Rite, we talk regular. I talk to Timmy Heaps regular. He just texted me this morning. Tin Man just sent me a message. I mean, these people are my friend. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I love to talk with them in fellowship, and it's a blessing too to also, it ain't just one way, like, hey, we're 3 of 7, so you get from us, we're the instructors. I get a lot from everybody in the community as well, all the people on Patreon, and I mean, hearing what they have to share on Resurrected or the questions that they asked. I mean, it all holds value. It's just a big family to me, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. They come out to the race.
That's what I was going to say. That's the cool thing at the races, is you get to spend time with all of those people in one spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, like, I mentioned it earlier, and you just hit it again. I don't want to there is another level when we've met people, when we get to spend time with these people in person. I mean, that just is.
Yeah,
that's just
reality.
That's the reality. But it's not to say that there's probably people who've been on Patreon for years. Well, I know there is, and I could name a few names, but there's people on Patreon forever. We've never had the chance to train with them, and we might not, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not any less of a, you don't matter any less to us because of that. We, but the race is a great opportunity for that. I mean, I'm really excited about the races that we do, and maybe even add more if we ever do. I mean, I think that's a great opportunity, and Mountain Mama in October, we hope that sells out and has 200 plus people again, because it's a awesome reunion type feel. And part of the Ruck training plan, or not the Ruck training plan, the Ruck Strava challenge, is to just foster another way to have this community. And I mean, that's why I want to keep doing that. And if this goes well, add another one, because it feels like a way to create another avenue for this community that we're talking about to interact and not only grow closer to each other, but to us too. I think we need to look for more ways to do that, because just because of what we're talking about, I think it's that important and it means that much to me. And hopefully it goes a long way to show everybody that we genuinely do want to continue that and care about that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a special thing.
Yeah. I was talking with Chili this morning, Lord willing, I hope to, especially the guys that's local on the Ruck Challenge, to go out and do some rucks with them during the challenge. Mm-hmm. I hope. There's one guy, I can't remember his name, lives up in close to Gettysburg. It'd be awesome to do a ruck up in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That'd be big.
You gonna travel to Gettysburg?
That'd be big.
How you gonna get there?
That's one of the places I've always wanted to say. I'm gonna drive. I dang sure wouldn't fly. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's an easy pull, Corn. If that's one of the places you've always wanted
Chad's
to see.
got to fly to Canada.
He already did.
You wouldn't fly to Pennsylvania?
No, I'd drive. There's two places I'll fly: Normandy and Israel. Those are the only two places.
All right.
Well, Rip flew out here just for this daggone podcast.
And I tell you what, boy, it was rough as a cog.
Well, that's the last we're going to hear from Rip.
They ain't nice sloth here in America. So
No, they ain't. Yeah.
He had to get his passport and everything.
Yeah.
Dang. Anyway, thanks for letting me do that. I just wanted to.
That's a good.
Yeah, that's good, Chili.
That's a good point, Chili. It's always good to note that and think about that. Well, I've been thinking. I was reading this morning about Joseph.
I knew it.
And, Joseph had a hard life. I mean, he got done wrong many times.
Yeah.
His brothers hated him because his father liked him. That wasn't his fault.
You get a lot of detail about Joseph.
Yeah. He had that coat of many colors, and his brothers hated him for that.
Yeah.
Throwed that joker in the pit, and then sold him off in slavery. Then he goes and lives in as a slave. But the Lord blessed his life the whole time. It said everything he did that he succeeded at because the Lord was with him. And then he goes and he lives with Potiphar, and that darn Potiphar's wife.
He was a servant there, right?
Yeah. And everything was prospering. It said Potiphar didn't have to think about anything other than what he might want to eat, because Joseph was taking care of everything. The Lord was blessing it. And his wife had so much time on his hands, it said that Joseph was a good-looking lad, strong and good-looking. And so
you know what my first name is, don't you?
Yeah.
Joseph.
Well, what does that have to do with anything?
I'm a good-looking lad, and I'm strong.
We see them women that do to you what they did to Joseph all the time.
We have seen that.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
And
Wow.
so I was reading this morning, I've heard the story, but that woman, she just kept on coming after him.
Yeah.
Constantly. And finally she hemmed him up and grabbed a hold of his cloak, and he tore away, and she kept his cloak and let out a yell. And so everybody came in.
Yeah, framed him.
And said, "Oh, he was trying to rape me, but I let out a yell, and he run off. He left his cloak behind, and then he got put in prison. All you know. But I was going to tell you what, them women." Some women are out to set you up like that.
The whole point of this was for Blake to do this.
Yeah.
That's all you took from that.
Women, they're out to try to trap you into stuff like that. Not just set you up like that, but just try to make you lust, make you do all this stuff. And she's the one lusting.
Oh, yeah.
You get on it, you about can't even get on Instagram without all kind of half-naked women popping up.
Yeah.
When you go to try to search for somebody or something in the suggestions there. All these women out here, and that's all they got. They just wanting to try to set you up for some trap, and it's been going on back since Joseph.
Yeah. It has, 100%.
But Joseph stood strong, you know. He said, "No, I've got it good here. Potiphar's done nothing but blessed me. Why would I do anything like that?" And even when he went to prison, the Lord still blessed him. He got in with the warden. The warden put him over the whole prison.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now, but I've been reading through the book of Genesis. It's a whole different thing than reading the New Testament.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it points to the New Testament in many places, but it's a whole different thing. Them people was rough back then. I mean, they was rough in the New, but you get much more culture when you read the Old Testament, I think, than you get when you read the New Testament. You get more of what was going on, more detailed stories and things, detailed accounts. So I've been enjoying reading that. Have y'all read that account?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I listened to it. I listened to Genesis, Exodus, all the way through Leviticus a couple of years ago.
Hey, buddy, turn off your ringer.
That was actually my watch. I don't know why it did that. But listened to it. And I still think it's better. I retain it better if I read it.
Yeah.
You know, because I read pretty slow. So I'm reading it a lot slower, and I think I retain it a lot better than whether if I just listen to it, just bam, 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 one right after the other.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I do too. When you read that, you know, I didn't start at the very beginning of Genesis. I started about the account of Abraham. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they was big. Abraham was a big deal. We a lot of times I think read and we say, oh,
the biggest deal.
He says, you know, he's greater than Jacob or whatever, you know, Abraham, and we think, oh yeah, I remember Abraham, but he was a big deal.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was the start of it.
Yeah.
That was the start of it. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
And you know, the Lord used all of these people: Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, then Joseph. You know, going down all these different people, and these people were just, I mean, they was rotten. You know, having multiple wives and incest, which I guess wasn't that big of a deal back then, huh? The incest, because maybe the gene pool was much smaller. I don't know. That didn't seem to be common.
Right.
Well, Cain and them had to, but you know, past that, it's like let's stop that.
Well, but then everything was reset. You know. Everybody died out. Then Noah.
Noah and his sons and sisters, they had to.
I mean, that's all you got.
Yep.
So, but, you know, these people was rough, doing all kind of things against the Lord's will, but he still used them.
Yeah.
And that's oftentimes the ones that he uses, I guess, but makes me think about us, you know, and we think, well, I can't do nothing no good. Look at all this stuff I've done and things I've messed up. Well, go read Genesis if you're thinking that, or go read any of the Old Testament of the people. Yeah, you should try to do good. I'm not saying continue on in your sin, but that don't make you unusable.
Right.
That don't mean that the Lord don't have something for you. So, I don't know. It's interesting reading that Old Testament.
Yeah. I mean, you that's what you take from it, is just how we look at a lot of these figures as basically never sinning. Like they're all just these perfect, not perfect literally, but you know what I mean? Like they've never messed up because they were used so heavily.
Sometimes, I think sometimes people look at them like that because they don't go actually read the account of what they were doing and what was going on.
Yeah.
They think, well, if the Lord was using them, like who they say David was a man after God's own heart.
Yeah.
And look at all, they think, well, gosh, he must be really good. They go read about David.
Bathsheba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, killing their husband and all, whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah.
So these people were rough. I mean, they were doing stuff that, not that it makes us any better, but I wouldn't dare think about. Not that I could never get to that point. I don't know.
Right.
But I wouldn't dare think about doing what David did.
Go to killing folks
right
and
now.
doing all that. Yeah.
But that don't make me any better or David any better. That's just the plan that God had for him. But yeah, that's one thing I take away from reading. But then there's other things in there that, seem odd. Like, was it Jacob? It was Jacob and Esau, right? They had brothers. They had beef all their life, and Jacob sent all of his people ahead to meet Esau to present these gifts to him, and try to make up for what had been done wrong. And Jacob stayed back, and it said he wrestled with God all night.
Yeah.
I've been studying that. I mean, that's just an odd thing to say that it says he wrestled with God, but the way I understand it, maybe it was like an angel or something. But anyways, I'm not going into that. But just a lot of different things that you can really pull a lot out of if you take the time to sit down and look at it. So I take many things from it, but that's one thing I take
you
from
talking
it.
about like when God pulled his hip out of place? Is that what you're talking
I
about?
think so, yeah.
Yeah. They wrestled in the tent right there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, the Old Testament's big, man. There's some direct stuff there.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
people just skate past all that.
Yeah.
Which, it does all point to Jesus.
Yeah.
And Jesus arrives in the New Testament.
Yeah, right.
So people want to get to the end of the story, but it'll do you some good to go back and read some of that beginning and what led up to it, and to see humanity where they were, and to see how the Lord was using them and what he was doing with them and how they were acting, and you just see this wave of rise and fall, rise and fall, rise and fall, and it's still going on today, really.
Yeah.
With we've talked about Jacob and Esau before, how crazy that is, and I don't have a deep understanding of why that spiritual blessing, if you want to call it that, or whatever.
We were talking about that on the basic course.
Yeah, why that could be, how that even worked, that could be deceived like it was and tricked. Do you know about that? Like, so there.
I know I've read it, but I'm not remembering.
With Jacob and Esau, I think there's two components to it. There's the inheritance, which is literally
You're getting what's
their father's stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just quite literally the inheritance of what he had and the property he had and the money and whatever. But then there was the spiritual blessing, right?
yeah.
And
Esau
traded
came out first,
it for a meal.
Right.
But how does that spiritual? I mean, I get how an inheritance can only be given to one, and you can't be like, well, that's like, well, he took it. You can't. But a spiritual blessing, it was as if he gave it, was tricked and gave it away. How can he not take that back? You know what I mean?
Esau was hungry, and Jacob come in from being out, and Esau was like, "Get me some food, bub." And he said, "Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll get you some if you give me that birthright blessing." And he said, "All right, that's fine." So they did their deal. Then when their father, Isaac, right, was their dad, when he was dying, he was blind. So Jacob went and put on some of Esau. So the father must not have known about the deal, because Jacob went and put on some of Esau's clothes, so he smelled like him and went in there.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't have been okay with that deal. I mean,
No.
it like that's my that's why it's so weird. Is I thought it had to be the firstborn son, and like that's just who it was given to. There is no you can make a deal.
But then Jacob tricked him. He gave it to Jacob, and so it's weird that after he did it, it wasn't like he was like, "Oh, that was Jacob," and then now it's like, "Dang, I've already gave it out."
Yeah, because what the blessing itself was, do you know what it was?
I can't remember.
It basically is that blessing that he was to give was the continuation of the Abrahamic lineage
Okay.
So right, like the covenant that was made. Basically, Isaac has 2 sons. Which one is going to carry
The name and
carry it through?
Yeah.
Like Jacob or Esau.
Right.
Esau's firstborn. That's who it was to be given to. So I don't really know how he could even give it to somebody else. But he had to like give this. But that's what I just don't understand. I guess we need to do a deeper study. I don't really get the mechanics of that because. I don't know how to word that. Essentially, it was to carry on the lineage of Abraham, which one it would go through, who would continue the covenant relationship, the lineage, and all that. And so, once that trick was done, it was given to Jacob. And
just by them doing it.
I mean, that's my understanding.
This was the blessing from the dew of heaven and the richness of earth. May God always give you the abundant harvest of grain and bountiful new wine. May many nations become your servants, and may they bow down to you. May you be the master over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. All who curse you will be cursed, and all who bless you will be blessed. But once he said that, he couldn't pull it back and say, whoa, you were Jacob. That was supposed to go to. It's like once it was given, and something.
It's really odd.
Yeah, somehow he. I don't get how all that worked, but that's the end.
So Isaac had to be tricked.
He was tricked. Yeah, the mother knew that, and she liked Jacob more than Esau.
Right,
So she prepared the meal. She told him to get the clothes, and Isaac, he knew something was up, but when he smelled his clothes, then he was convinced. It says, so. Yeah, so you get all kind of stuff like that in the Old Testament.
Right.
That's different than the New Testament. That not that one is more valuable than the other, but we spend a lot of time reading the New Testament, and the gospel is the thing. Like that's what we have to get. But if you can gain more understanding of it by understanding the surrounding, the leading up to it, that's what I mean. I think that's what it's there for. It's not there just for no reason.
Right.
Like, these are books that were left to us to give us further understanding and deeper understanding, and we shouldn't just overlook it and skip right to Matthew or right to one of the Gospels. Now, if you are a new believer, that's probably the best place to start, is to understand the Gospel and then kind of backtrack. It's like these Marvel movies do. They put the main show out first, and then they tell, oh, no, this is what happened back before. You get what's important from the start, So, I don't know. I've just been enjoying reading Genesis. Y'all should join me in it.
Tuesday meeting? Tuesday.
Yeah, a Old Testament Monday, a New Testament Monday, a Old Testament Tuesday.
I'm down.
OTT.
I'm down like 4 flat tires. Why?
What?
Down like 4 flat tires.
And then you said something else after that.
Why?
Oh.
So, Rip, do you read any of the...
Oh, God. Let's not. No, he doesn't read.
Do you read the Old Testament, Rip?
Oh, yeah, I get into it every night. Old Testament. Well, I didn't last night because I flew in here.
Oh, okay.
Tonight I will at the hotel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well...
Yeah. I like Leviticus.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Don't eat catfish. Don't eat fish without any scales in Leviticus. I don't know why you'd eat no catfish.
The sloths eat catfish?
No, we lost pure Leviticus.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate that insight, Rip.
No problem.
So yeah, that's what I had. That's what I had to bring.
That's good.
What'd you have to bring?
I do want to just jump back real quick. Here I've got 2-gram gold bar and a silver coin come from my man. Well, your kinfolk, Rip, Tim Wolf.
Oh, yeah, I was with you when he got that.
Yeah. Yep. Sent Chili one too.
Let me allow that, please. Oh, yeah.
Chad says that's the Lord's money.
What, gold?
Yeah.
That's what he says. He says all the stuff in the temple was adorned with gold.
So it is the Lord's money, he says.
Because that was by his instructions. I've not read much of that, but
Oh, the Holy of Holies, man.
Yeah.
Gold.
Any silver in there?
I don't know. Not that I know of. But I don't know that means that that's the Lord's money.
Yeah.
It's just what Chad says.
Cornbread, did you said you did some sort of new thing on Patreon?
I just freshened up the influence the podcast, ask questions for the podcast little page we got there.
Yeah, so we got a Patreon if you guys don't know. And what we do lots of things on Patreon. We do a comms check. We record it every Monday, but put it out to you guys every Friday, where we talk about our thoughts and lessons of the week. So it's an additional podcast for you guys. We do Resurrected there, which is a Bible-based message. We do 3 Sundays a month, Chad or myself, sometimes Cornbread, sometimes we'll have a guest. But we're doing some Bible-based message on there. You can get you a discount for the store. We take questions from you guys, and we'll answer them here on the podcast. So that's where we're at right now. Cornbread has freshened up that post talking about send some questions in, and he's got. Why don't you pick 1 or 2 out, Corn?
I'm just reading them. I think I'm gonna take over this because
I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't.
No, I think I am because there are a lot directed to Corn that he's not gonna read. So I'm gonna.
Well, how about I ask the first one and then you go ahead and ask the second one?
I think I'll go ahead and.
I'm gonna ask the first one. See, this is what happens when Chad's not here. Yeah.
What?
Chili wants to
Try to take over?
Yeah, get big air chested, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Derek Brennan said, "When are you guys changing the name of the podcast to the Cornbread Show?"
He is getting famous.
And that does remind me
He is
that
getting
Marty,
famous.
you know this was Marty.
Oh, well, yeah.
He sent this in. It says Cornbread and what's his name show.
Support staff.
And then the back says support staff, who I'm support staff.
You're not even what's his name.
No, I think what's his name is Chad. And I guess Marty will have to explain it, but he won't. He'll just make some super chat that's incoherent with 3 levels that talks about lunch lady arms and some other joke that he's got. So he won't even explain this. But I think we're the support staff, you and me, Blake, for Cornbread and what's his name.
Maybe, yeah.
I think. I don't know.
What's his name could be Paris James.
It could be.
There you go.
But, yeah, so I just decided to take this over, Corn, because I knew you wouldn't read that, but I figured we needed to address
He is getting
that.
big famous.
Well, you know.
Megastar.
You can't bring attention to yourself for no reason. Kevin. I guess Kevin don't have a last name. How could I incorporate God's word in a classroom setting, specifically at a police academy training hundreds of police recruits? Is there a good way to incorporate it? Thank you.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing probably it's maybe not allowed or something. Direct methods may not be allowed. I don't know.
I would think, just thinking back to my police academy class, you know, there was Muslims there.
Yeah.
Of course, atheists and Christians, and there was people of all religions, if you wanted to say. I'm sure it was the same at yours.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we go many places and do many things, we must be the same person. You know, we talk, a lot of times people say, you got to be so-and-so when you're at home and when you're at work and when you're at church, and they draw what they're saying is you got to be the same everywhere you go, but in the same breath, they're drawing distinctions between the places that you go and who you are. And so the best way that I've found to incorporate things like that, to incorporate your faith, is that is who you are. And if they have hired you to be an instructor at that course, then you don't have to show up as a preacher, as a pastor up there delivering a gospel message. But there should be examples in your life to where you're able to share that, and to somehow, what's going to come through is that your service to the Lord has helped you in this way or in that way, and you shouldn't not share those things, unless you somehow signed something and said, I will not share anything about my faith. Then you can share your own story no matter where you go, and it don't matter if you're a teacher at the school or if you're this person or that person, and if there's repercussions for it, I just say, oh, so be it. Like, your story is your story, and you're not being – that's what we say here at 307. We have people come of all faiths to our courses, and we tell them straight up, when you signed up to come to this course, you signed up to come and learn from us. And if we withheld this part of us from you because you don't think like we do, then that would not be giving you all of who we are, and it would be disingenuous of us. And it's the same thing with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're their instructor. The people have hired you to teach these people, yes, about policing, but if you are serving the Lord, then that should be a part of your policing. And so there should be stories, there should be ways that comes up. And so, for a long-winded answer, to shorten it up, would be that you just share. It's not, you don't have to be as direct about it as what people think, because the subtle things you say, the people that need it or have questions or want to talk about it will recognize that in you, and will hopefully talk to you about it after the class is over or during the lunch break or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I know to say without knowing specifics or whatever. But if you will open yourself up to being used, the Lord will use you.
Yeah. I remember back from my police academy class, it was broke up into various chapters. Like you would have a 4-hour block of whatever it may be, patrolling the streets,
Yeah.
and then
Different classes.
Yeah, different classes that were broke up. I would put it in the curriculum as far as like when you did the block on cultural diversity. You know how there's all kinds of sayings that people say every day, and most of those sayings, like a drop in a bucket and the writings on the wall and all that, those all come from chapters in the Bible, from things that people said or did, even in the Old Testament,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. You can look them up. I mean, they're all in there. I would use the cultural diversity of how people talk. It's like now, if you talk about Instagram, if you scroll Instagram enough, you see somebody on there saying, on God, I swear on God. You talk about what the slang saying is really mean. What does it really mean to swear on God? What is this person saying, or what do they believe they're saying, and what's to the contrary? What's the truth? A lot of them now say on King David.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Have you heard it? They'll be like, on King David, on King David. Well,
Dang.
yeah. And a lot of people think that a lot of those, just call it for what I see it, gang members are saying on King David. Like, you think they're talking about King David in the Bible, and some of them think they're talking about King David, but they're actually talking about this other gang member that called himself King David. But you can talk about King David and say the contrary of what's going on.
Yeah.
Also in the morals and integrity block, that's like 3 or 4 days of study. I mean, what would be wrong with saying the Beatitudes?
Mm-hmm.
Even if at the very end you said, and this is what Jesus taught. These
Yeah.
exact things.
Yeah.
I just throw it on them. They could like it or lump it.
I know Chad gets a lot of questions when he opens up Q&A too. So if people learn to know that's who you are, and you open up at the end and say, hey, does anybody have any questions, whether it be about my own experience in my life and how I've done things, or about policing, I'm open to hearing, whatever you guys have. Could be another way, because if somebody asked you a question, then there ain't nothing wrong with answering it.
Yeah. Kevin's last name's Nolan, by the way.
He just tell you?
He just told us. Kevin Nolan.
He listening then.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin.
What you got, Chili?
Well, we had a lot of questions on there. Did you see those?
Yeah.
I think this one's always good to address.
Oh, you didn't have nothing to say to Kevin?
About how to
I did. Thank you, Kevin.
how to incorporate God's word in a
Thanks,
classroom setting, specifically a police academy. I mean, y'all two, I could just give you general stuff about that you pretty much covered, but y'all two with the police officers,
So
y'all know what that setting is like.
Yep, you don't have nothing to say. You got another
Good
question?
Josh, Blake. Nathan, it looks like Thomas, his last name, but it ends with an N and not an S.
Yeah, I've
Common.
seen that.
So would you call that Tommen or Toman?
No, that's Tommen.
Thoman?
Tommen.
Anyway, he said he's new and wonders what does the name 3 of 7 stand for. So I figured we could cover that real brief.
Yeah.
How do you get in on the Super Chat, and what does the money amount mean to you guys? I would say don't get in on the Super Chat because don't even worry about it.
Yeah, just send us gold.
Blake, you have to do that, don't you?
Just send us gold.
And then his third question is it a rock course or ROP course?
Well, that's perfect. Those are perfect questions for you, Chili.
Well, let me start by saying, is it because of how we talk that it sounds like rock course?
You got a bad accent. It's bad.
Me?
It's bad. It's bad.
Have you heard you?
Corn, you have the worst accent that's not even anything.
I've got a good accent.
I don't even
Accent.
I have, what are you talking about?
I'm just aggravating you, Chili. Continue, bub.
No,
well,
wait,
but
wait,
it's egregious for you to even joke like that.
Great
Unless
pick, by the way.
You say
Great question.
See
how
adder-
it gets when Chad's not here.
when he's
very
especially and when he's
confrontational.
running.
Yeah, and he's running. Yeah.
well, it's ROP, R-O-P, Rite of Passage.
Yeah.
So that's what that stands for. So that actually has a meaning, Rite of Passage course.
Well, people hear ROP and they say, I ain't never heard nothing called a ROP, so it must be a ROP.
But there are people who have done the ROP course that call it the rock course.
Yeah, they just don't know what they did.
Anyway, it's ROP, Rite of Passage. And what does the name 3 of 7 stand for? Well, the easiest way to explain that is the number 3. We see that in the Bible, has a lot of significance. The Trinity, God is 3 in 1, right? So Father, Son, Holy Spirit. But also the 3 to us, we're referencing the 3 parts that make a human being. It's the 3 parts that we're kind of composed of. So there's a body, there's our soul, which is like our mind. Chad likes to say our mind, will, and emotions, right? And then our spirit, which is the spiritual connection that that lives inside of us, that's connected to the spiritual realm that's going on simultaneously with the physical, right? So that's who we really are. We are kind of 3 in 1 when you reference ourselves, we. That's what we're made of, and the number 7 is the biblical number for completion. So every time you would see the number 7 in the Bible, it would generally be referencing and symbolizing or mean that something was complete or whole. And the mission behind what we do is to feed all 3 parts of ourselves, if you want to say that, kind of master all 3 parts of ourselves, the body, soul, and the spirit, so we can be a more complete version of ourselves. Now, that's not to say that in our lives that the body and our mind are as important as our spirit. In a way, they are. You know, if any of them are lacking, you won't be a complete version of yourself. But me and Blake were talking about this the other day. Really, an emphasis should be placed on the spirit.
Yeah.
You know, if the spirit's not in order, the other 2 will not be in order. So in some ways, I think you could say it is the most important. But that's essentially the 3 and the 7. So that's where we got the name. Would you say that was a good
Oh, that's excellent.
I think that's real good, Chili.
explanation of 3
Yeah,
of 7
good
project?
job, man.
Well, good deal.
I think it's good too.
Thanks.
Rip.
But yeah, that's what Nathan asked, and he also said, "P.S. Why doesn't cornbread get more airtime?"
I get plenty of airtime, bub.
Probably
Because
because
he
I
can't
talk.
jump high enough.
Don't you know white men can't jump?
Oh my god!
You should have seen him today doing PT. You know I ain't getting no airtime.
Holy crap!
Now he could bust a ollie.
Oh, yeah.
We have a specific question from Derek Rosen about the rucking challenge. Did you see that, Corn?
I did.
Well, why don't you allow something about that? He asked, "What kind of pack/weights are you carrying, and do you have any tips for going up in weight?"
Well,
And you just recently went up in weight.
Yeah. So I used the Rucker 4.0 from Coverup. That's the pack I use, and it's awesome. The biggest thing I've learned about toting that weight in the Ruck pack is make sure you got that pack as high up to your shoulders as you can possibly get it. You don't want it sagging and drooping and whatnot. And if you find that it is, one thing that I learned, of course, if you're doing a bunch of elevation or stuff like that and you're trying to get more air in, your chest is coming out, it can't be as tight. You have to just constantly adjust it, or I do rather, is use that chest strap as well to help hold it up. So like me and Chili was rucking today on flat area, I just had that chest strap as tight as I could get it because I wasn't huffing and puffing nearly as bad, and that helped hold it up. So if you feel it start sagging, you need to readjust it in a hurry because it's about to wear your lats out. No joke. That's what I've learned.
How about your traps?
Oh, yeah, it's going to eat them up.
Yeah.
What's the best way to get it higher? Like bend over at the waist and scoot it up like that, and then pull those.
Yeah, at the same time. Yep. Very good explanation, Chili.
They do have hip belts for those things, too.
I think I'm going to get me one.
Yeah, I think a hip belt would make a big difference.
I think that 60 is going to be attached rough.
Yeah.
Regular. Yeah,
Do those hip belts come with pockets, like so you can put some food
pockets
there on the hip?
I don't know.
Pouches. That'd be nice.
Not sure. Yeah, it would be.
But I don't know about any other rucksacks other than that Rucker 4.0. So I know that thing's fairly expensive, but.
What do you think about people that just grab an old backpack and throw weight in it and start rucking? I think that's good and an ingenuitive way to start because, hey, man, just get started.
Yeah.
But that ain't going to last really long,
I don't think so. So I did that before Blake got me that one pack, and I do know my nephew G does that a lot. And we put towels in the bottom of the pack to get the weight higher up in the bag. Because that thing would start sure enough drooping down at the bottom, and it didn't matter how much you pulled it. I mean, you could feel that. If you put a 25-pound plate in there, you could feel it bouncing on the top of your tailbone.
Yeah.
It'd be sad. So we started putting towels in the bottom, which adds to the weight. You know what I mean? But, yeah.
Well, not much. Don't get ridiculous.
It does, man. You got 5 or 6 dang towels in there to try to hold that weight up.
At least a pound or two.
Yeah.
Lawfish713 said, a question for each of you. What is your favorite thing to do when Chad isn't there to supervise you?
Well, let's address first that. What is that thing called in Iran?
The Ayatollah.
Let's address first. I am the Ayatollah around here. So it don't matter if Chad's here or not. The question should be framed, what do y'all do when Blake is not there?
Oh, wow.
Because Chad he's the figurehead. That's what we decided at lunch, ain't it?
Yeah, he's the the puppet president.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like Joe Biden, Donald Trump,
So what is this feller's name?
Lawfish.
Don't be misled, Lawfish. Things stay on track.
I'll answer that.
Better than ever.
I'll answer that question honestly. My favorite thing to do when Chad's not here is just to do anything that we're doing more efficiently. That's what my favorite thing to do when Chad's not here.
My favorite thing we've done since he's been gone is have Rip on the podcast.
I really appreciate it, man.
I mean, he's going to be here. He's going to be here for a little while.
Yeah. I'm not leaving till Chad comes back.
Oh, my God.
And we might even could have him as a guest when he's back. He could just share a mic.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Dang.
No, we miss Chad.
Yeah.
And things ain't the same without him here.
No, and it's going to be a long time, too.
I know it.
Buckle up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a good minute for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I
don't have nothing. My favorite thing to do when he's gone, we do this. I mean,
we did the same thing.
Literally did the same thing.
We're all pretty responsible around here. We just do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Go, when he's gone, we even got a bonus run in today. We wasn't planning on running this morning.
Oh, yeah.
But we got done so quick.
We never would have done that if Chad was here.
We just
efficiency.
Hit that run. So that was nice to do. He still lets us use his deal. So that's good of him.
Oh, yeah. We had everything wrapped up quick this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, we could have done another video. We could have done the Old Testament Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
OTW.
Yeah. OTW.
Yeah. So, well, before we shift into the news, I know Paris James is excited about some news that he has given you to announce. This episode's brought to you guys by Barbell Apparel. It's hot.
It is.
We're in the dog days of summer, and I think it's a little bit early to be where we're at.
It is.
It's hot. And so this ultralight tech tee, this is all I wear every day. I don't even wear a cotton T-shirt anymore because it's so dad-burn hot. And the stuff and this and the Ranger shorts, the running shorts, they get sweaty and wet. You lay them out on the hood of your car for like 15 minutes in the sun. They're dry as a chip.
You love to do that, don't you?
Yeah, I get here after I've been doing jiu-jitsu in my barbell stuff. I'll take it off and hang it on the mirrors of my car. When I come in here, hit me an email or two, go back out, and it's dry. And so it's nice. Dry as a chip. And it's nice to have things that keep you cool, that absorb and dry fast. Wear this stuff out on the basic course. They're really good people over there. They've supported us for a long time. Anything we wanted to do, any idea we've had, any thing that we wanted to make happen that we needed them for, or even that we, they're
working with us right now.
Yeah. So they're a really, really big part of what we do around here. And so got a really good warranty, too. I always want to note the warranty that if you buy a large and you decide working out's not for me and you get fat and you say, but I still like barbell, they will change the size of your clothes. Or
up or down.
Yeah, or if you're really fat and you say, I do like working out, but I've lost all this weight, then they'll change the clothes to a smaller size for you. That's big.
Yeah, that's real big.
Real big.
And they've got everything you need. You can go deliver a sermon, and you can go run the streets.
Guadalajara.
No, it is. That is one. That's probably the coolest thing about them is you can get collared shirts.
Yeah.
That actually feel good and are not just crappy dress shirts.
Yeah.
Good flex material. Dress pants, jeans, and then all the athletic clothes that we wear all the time on here. I mean, that's pretty cool that you can get all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big. You can wear it anywhere you want to do, doing anything you want to do. So, thank you, Barbell, for supporting us, for sponsoring this episode. You guys go check them out at barbellapparel.com. We've got shirts that we have partnered with them on to be hard when it gets hard on the Ultralight Tech Tee. We've got shorts with our logo on it, all different kinds of things. So y'all go check them out. What we got for the news?
Well, this news has been.
Hold on. Oh, hold on. Let Rip do it.
No, my.
Rip, can you do the news thing?
You talking about that beeping thing?
Just do it.
Yeah.
Do you want nobody to listen?
Thanks, Rip.
Do you want nobody to listen?
I'm sorry, Chili.
You didn't quit being disrespectful to Rip Wolf.
Everybody,
He's a guest.
everybody might tune out now that we're talking about the news, but I'm going to talk about it. I mean, this is what's going on. Look,
Let's talk about
Let it rip.
the daggum Epstein files. You know about Jeffrey Epstein and gasoline?
I watched a documentary on him one time on Netflix.
Oh,
you
boy.
remember that clip I showed you?
Yeah. And what did they allow?
It's vulgar, too vulgar for the show.
Oh, okay. Well,
So I just know a little bit about it.
well, you know a little bit about him.
Yeah.
That is right. Jeffrey Epstein.
He's a worm, isn't he?
Well, he's evidently
He's
dead.
a hammer now.
Yeah, but he was a worm.
Bad guy.
Yeah.
So we're
Evil.
told.
Evil.
So we're told. Could have been a good guy.
Yeah, well.
No, so Jeffrey Epstein, a whole client list, flight log, the whole deal. Trial, courtroom, everything involving him and Ghislaine Maxwell.
Gasoline.
Yeah, they both were kind of the figureheads of the operation. That
Is she dead?
she's in prison.
Okay.
So the thing is Jeffrey Epstein was a known con man, financier. He was presented as had connections with a lot of rich people, and the one that's often not mentioned that is he's closely tied with is Les Wexner, the kind of owner of Victoria's Secret. And
I bet he's a slimy mug.
yeah. And Les Wexner provided a lot of Epstein's money and the house that he was living in and all of this. And there has been people who investigated this far more than me say that, in their opinion, Les Wexner was the or one of the heads of the snake in the whole operation that literally gets zero. He's a billionaire, and I mean, he's never mentioned in any news coverage or anything. Yeah. But also other large bankers that were dealing with Epstein, or, you know, as far as if you wanted to point to the head of the snake in the operation. And it was kind of hidden and covered up in the media and the news, and there was a lot of victims, child and adult victims of sexual assault and trafficking and all this that, you know, was kind of hidden. But ultimately what was really hidden was, even when this started coming out about Jeffrey Epstein, was his connections to intelligence agencies, which, okay, if you present this as a lone guy who is a financier, whoever, just don't really know, but has all these connections with, I mean, even Donald Trump and Bill Clinton and President, you know, him and Ghislaine Maxwell had all of these passports and citizenships, and, you know, they're just like, who are these people? And what was really hidden was that they weren't just lone individuals doing a bad thing. It was a deeply connected operation involving Israeli intelligence, British intelligence, United States intelligence operations. And it is known that Maxwell's father was deeply tied in with intelligence. So you've got the Mossad, CIA, British, you know, MI6, all of these intelligence agencies, and Maxwell's sisters are involved in tech. Big, I believe one of them helped create or something the search engine Magellan. Like they're all, it's deeply entwined into the technological and intelligence spaces of the world. Well, what has become more evident is, yes, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell are extremely evil people, and were doing all the things that we thought that they were doing and saw that they were doing and was coming out. But they are essentially the fall people for an operation that goes much deeper and involves people that the powers that be, if you will, don't want to be uncovered, right? If that makes sense. So, you know, once this started coming out, you say, well, yeah, we have these two people who are doing all this stuff, like we can get rid of them. Or not, or pretend to get rid of them and they're still alive somewhere, just chilling on an island, you know, who knows? Yeah. I don't know where Jeffrey Epstein really is. They said he killed himself. I don't know if he's dead or alive. If he did die, I don't know how he died. Doubt he killed himself. But Ghislaine Maxwell's supposedly in prison. How do I know if she's in prison? She may not be in prison. You'd say you could put her in a max security prison. Who's verifying that? I don't know where she is. But even if they are, okay, well, who's really behind this? You can't pin it on two people. An operation that had thousands of children on an island that were human trafficked and were sexually abused and died, and politicians and royal family members like Prince Andrew and Bill Clinton and whoever in flight logs that were flying regularly on this private jet, the Lolita Express, to Little St. James, this island. I mean, what was that? And he had all this, like a temple built on that island that they've uncovered, and you know, I mean, hey, maybe all this stuff is a big intelligence operation to confuse people, and a lot of the information that you get like this is fake, and maybe Bill Clinton never did fly on his island that many times. I don't know, but that's what it looks like, and you can see that there is, either way you slice it, a big attempt at protecting individuals that can't be named, potentially Donald Trump, right, is attempted to be protected. And what would lend you to believe that now is everybody said that it was a big cover-up by the Democrats, right? That's what a lot of people wanted to run with. Well, now that Trump is in office, as he was running for office, he selected Pam Bondi to be his attorney general, and he selected Kash Patel to be his what's the director of FBI? Yeah, FBI director. Dan Bongino as well to work on this case. Well, now that they've got into office and they had a little power and Kash Patel's uncovering things, they are doing the exact same thing as the Biden administration and not releasing any files, not releasing any details, and covering up what happened. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino get on TV and do an interview and say, well, it's evident from what we've looked at that that Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself, and there's really nothing to see. There's nothing to see. The whole months of you running for, of Donald Trump running for office and you being selected as his cabinet members, you promised that you would unveil all of these things. You would release them all. He just said, I don't know why you can't just release them. Be transparent. What's the big deal? They're there. We'll release them. Well, what's interesting about that is Kash Patel then went on the Joe Rogan Experience, the world's largest media platform, and Kash Patel went on there to set the record straight and essentially said that all of the footage that we have, we will release. He's like, and then Joe asked him a question, whatever, and he gets to the point where he basically says, well, there really is no footage pertinent to the case. And he says, well, do you have footage or not? It was just this bizarre string of conversation where it's evident that he's lying or something else is going on. And, ultimately they've come out recently and what did they say recently? There's not even a file, Paris James. There's not even a client. There's not even a file. It's just going away. This is case closed. Huh. So they did exactly the opposite of what they said they would do and continued to do the same fashion of cover-up as the Biden administration was doing.
And they can hold those files legally. Obviously it doesn't really matter, but there's nothing against them holding files from public information. No,
a lot of this is many years ago with the Patriot Act, they protected themselves from spying on U.S. citizens and withholding classified information as long as they want. I mean, there's no repercussions to this, really. So,
but Trump, he was quick to unveil all them other files, sign and release all this public information, wasn't he?
What, with the JFK files and the Martin? Well, see, that was a sham as well. Nothing has been released that wasn't already publicly available knowledge. Yes, you can go declassify 10,000 files, but if it's all 10,000 files that contain the same information of things that has already been declassified, you haven't declassified anything.
Yeah,
there's still a portion of files that you're holding on to. Well, why?
Yeah,
it's easy to go declassify a bunch of stuff that when you select it out and know that, or you declassify things, but names have been redacted and all this stuff. Well, that's not declassification.
Right.
You're continuing a cover-up. And not to continue on this or belabor the point, but what are the options for why this is being done? Is it, Elon Musk came out and tweeted, well, it's because Donald Trump is in the files. Yeah. That's why it's not been released, period. Let me drop the bomb on you. Well, maybe he is. There's definitely a connection with Epstein and Trump. They've talked. They're in photos together. There's a lot of witnesses that say Ghislaine Maxwell and Trump's previous wife, Ivana Trump, Ivanka's his daughter, Ivana, were seen in New York City driving around girls' preparatory schools and talking to people and doing modeling recruitment. Donald Trump is he runs and owns the model pageant competitions. What's that called? Miss America?
Oh, really?
Or that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, he's deeply entrenched in that world, but I'm not implicating Donald Trump. I don't know what he's done. Just because you were in a photo with a shady guy doesn't mean you're guilty. Maybe I might be in a photo with some guy that's a bad guy one day, and I don't mean I did anything with him. It just meant I came across him one time, you know.
Yeah.
So that doesn't implicate his guilt, but there's a lot more that would lend itself to believe that Donald Trump is involved or has ties to it. But the bigger thing is not even Donald Trump himself. I believe there's more, you know, there's way more people that you would want to protect the body at large than just Donald Trump. And I think that's the answer, is it may be him, maybe not, but it's a lot of really important, powerful figures that do not want that information being released.
Yeah.
The only other option you have is that this entire thing is riddled with false information, and the whole operation itself, all the things we think we know about Epstein, that we think we know about Bill Clinton, that we think we know about Maxwell, that we think we know about the intelligence agencies, Kash Patel, the FBI, is literally to create a false hysteria over a human trafficking operation that wasn't even really going on.
Yeah.
I believe that there is a big operation of human trafficking going on because there is evidence of that. Right? I mean, that is happening. Like, there's cases all the time. So that's my opinion. I do think that anytime information like this does come out, you have to account for the intelligence agencies are really good at doing what they do. They're really good at their job. The Mossad is really good at what they do. And part of what they do is not only gather intelligence, it's they send information, right? So it's not difficult for intelligence agencies, if a story begins to be broken, to quiet down certain journalists. Mainstream media can be entirely controlled by intelligence agencies. That's not difficult, right? So there may be kernels of truth. I don't think you can get around the fact that there is a huge human trafficking operation beyond that, but that involves the powerful people that run the media and run the world. The question is what is the truth of it?
Yeah.
I don't know you may have been lied a lot about what we think is the actual cause of it and the players involved and who ran this and who was involved here and what actually happened. I do think that's happening, but I don't know the truth of it because I think we've been fed a lot of lies surrounding it. But that's the news, and that's kind of catching you up on everything. Not to sit here and be like, gotcha, told you Donald Trump, you can't trust him, but in all seriousness, why did you think something would be different in this administration?
Yeah.
Like, it can't be. If this is really this big, like, it ain't going to come out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But a lot of people trusted Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, and now that they are in office, they are acting as everybody has previously that were holding that office. You act one way when you're on Fox News, and then you get into office, and about the same issue, you've had a complete reversal of stance and opinion and what you say about it.
Yeah.
What happened since they've been in office? You know, and that's what I always ask about politicians. You know, I'm quick to say basically all politicians are bad people, but I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that maybe are local politicians or know local politicians. Maybe they're family, and they're like, well, he's not a bad guy, and he's the mayor of my town. I know him. And that may be true, so I don't want to be quick to generalize and say that. But I think the higher you go into politics, we see this shift often. There has to be an explanation for why that happened.
Yeah.
Kash Patel was saying one thing, now he's holding an office, and he's saying another. Why? I mean, what happened in that time?
Nobody, they won't answer that question.
Right.
And,
you know,
any of the stuff, like if you say there's nothing of it, then why not? What a dumb statement.
You can release everything then.
Didn't put it out and I'll decide if there's nothing of it. What a dumb statement.
Yeah, I mean, I think
you are dumb.
I think the biggest thing that Paris James saw too was when they had the Trump administration with Pam Bondi had this weird celebratory scene with social media influencers, conservative social media influencers, where they gave them a binder that said to have information in it. And they wanted them to release it. So it was all this public stuff, and they all opened it, and it was nothing. Like it was a stunt. It was like a publicity stunt. That's exactly how that happened. I mean, you can go watch that. That was bizarre.
It's like a joke.
A joke. I mean, it truly, they've made a joke out of the Epstein files, which is like, I don't know the truth of it or not, but I know it is a serious topic. You're talking about essentially the most evil people in the world running the world and committing heinous crimes and sexual assault and child trafficking. Whether it's every bit of information is true or not, that is a serious topic. It's not really something to joke about if you're in that position and say, we've got information about it.
Yeah.
Like that, you made a joke out of it. And, the thing is there's what are the repercussions for this? What are the repercussions to anybody involved in it or any involvement in the cover-up? I mean, there should be repercussions if you're trying to cover this up now.
Well, I tell you, if they put it out, there will be folks getting killed. If they put that list out, those people on that list would be getting killed.
Yeah, I mean, if you knew the names of people and it was case closed, implicated like this, point blank. I mean, so the footage that I'm referencing, to bring people up to speed, and I'm sure there's a lot of people in the comments correcting a lot of things that I'm saying, but that's fine. I know that there was a lot of maybe this is CIA false information, but that on that island there was 10,000 hours of footage. It was essentially perceived to be a blackmail operation. So you'd fly Bill Clinton out to this island, get him on video committing whatever heinous crime you could get him to commit, whether it was something heinous with a child, whatever, and then get it on footage and use that as, hey, we got this. What you going to do now?
Yeah. Like
hang it over your head, blackmail, we control you, we own you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So how they lured all these people into this, I don't know. But they did, apparently, because there's flight logs that say they all went there and hours of footage. And these people in Trump's administration say they have the footage and they watched the footage. And they say there's nothing in there to implicate. So why not show the footage then?
Yeah.
Okay, if there's nothing in it, just show the footage.
Yeah.
And Kash Patel got on Joe Rogan and said, well, we don't want to re-victimize the people that are in the footage. Then blur their faces then.
Yeah.
Then you can't put it in Adobe Premiere Pro and edit it?
Yeah.
Then edit it then. What are you talking about?
And if there's nothing to show, how's it going to victimize anybody?
So you're admitting there's victims.
Right.
And you don't want to re-victimize them, so you can't show the footage. Show the freaking footage. It's not that hard. That's the thing, man. You can't get on there and say there's nothing to see, yet you won't show it to me.
Yeah.
Well, and he's like, well, why would I show it? There's nothing to see. So we can check. Are we supposed to take your word for it? He literally used the line, I remember it, on that podcast. Basically, why would I lie? Why would I lie?
I can't come up with one reason.
He was like, you don't think if I had footage I'd show it? That's exactly what I'm saying. I think you do have it and you're not showing it. So why would you not show it? And then that's what I mean. Like that statement, you think I wouldn't show it if there was footage. You just said there's footage.
Yeah.
But you don't want to re-victimize people with it. So what is it? It's just the most insane cover up and lie that I've ever seen. And I know Paris James is chomping at the bit over there, but give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Did I do a decent job of explaining that? Thank you.
Good job, Chili.
What do you think about all that, Corn?
I think there's some very evil things went on, and some people that the whole world knows took part in it, and they don't want it to get out who was over there.
Yeah.
I really do. That would be a humongous reset if a lot of those people just had to go to prison.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
People that like know top secret stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That could then in turn use it against you. To sell it off to help their defense or whatever else. You know what I mean? Like sell it off, say, oh, man, I really need $100 million for my defense. I'll tell you what's up with this or that and this and that. And they don't want them people doing that.
Yeah.
Can't even so much as even Epstein's supposed death, the 1 minute.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can you capture his death?
Yeah, you can't even watch the footage of his supposed suicide.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Right when that tape run
Yep, the tape ran out. Guards fell asleep and the tape ran out.
Dang.
I mean, it's insane, man.
Yeah, you can't even make that up.
No,
I mean,
no, it's just it's like blatant in your face lies, basically to an insulting degree. And if you want to know why they do it, or if you want to look for what recourse can we bring, none. And evidence that we can't bring any recourse is there hasn't been thus far, and they're lying that blatantly. We can't really do anything.
Yeah.
What would we do? I mean, we've said it many times. If you were going to do something, once it got bad enough, we would have already done it.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
right.
We're being lied to that bad. It's that evil. It's that bad. So that's just up to speed on that. I got a little carried away on this news, but
No, that's good.
that was a explanation of kind of that whole saga
Good job,
in
Chili.
my terms.
Good job, Bubba.
Is local news anything happening in local news?
Well, I mean, it could be another long drawn out, but I'll just give you the short of it. There's strange going-ons up in Calhoun, Georgia. They think they might be a possible serial killer or something of that nature going on around there. There was so in 2020, there was 2 local people, I won't say their names, that went missing from there. In 2020 at the Flying J truck stop in Calhoun, Georgia, one of which was found deceased, of course. The other still hasn't been found. And then March of this year,
Found one of them naked, didn't you say?
yeah, that was in 2020, a male subject was found naked.
In the swamp.
Yeah, and then in 2020, they found a female on that off-ramp from that truck stop that her car supposedly run over her own car run over her. So they're trying
That sounds like some Epstein crap.
they're trying to figure that out.
Shot himself in the head twice.
When did that happen?
That was in March of this year. They found another body that has yet to be identified on the side of the interstate at the same on ramp to the Flying J truck stop. And then they found another body that has been identified at the county line, which is also close proximity to the Flying J truck stop.
County line ripper.
Now, one, how do they find a body and not be able to identify it?
I mean, that mangled. Like,
I mean, all you have to have is a hair to pull DNA, right? I mean,
well, yeah. Can you do like forensic analysis if you have hair and trace
Yeah,
it back
but
to a human being and know the exact one?
Yeah, but I mean, we can all speculate of how they have all of our DNA, but how would you think your DNA stored for them to find your, like if you was,
Well, no, that's what I was about to
Yeah,
ask. I was about
yeah.
to say, like, for them to
don't-
be able to do that, you would have to have it in a database somewhere, which
Yeah.
I hope to God I
are
don't.
you, are,
but I figured I probably did because
normally how they do something like that is like if somebody's missing and is reported missing,
like
they
match
would,
it.
Yeah, they would go and like pull some of their clothing or a piece of hair out of
okay.
their
Right, you
car.
match it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it'd
yeah.
have to be matched like that. But if they don't have that, I know, man, from when I was policing, people get reported missing, and the detectives don't even hit a lick on nothing. Like, oh well, hope they call or something. Hope they let you know where they're at. And
Wow.
because most of the time it is somebody just saying, "Bump on this. I'm tired of being around here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go live with Aunt Janet
Right.
down in Arkansas." You know what I mean?
Texarkana.
Yeah. So
and then there's somebody that's missing they ain't found too, right?
yeah. I can't remember where that's at though, but it's close proximity.
Well, that was you was telling
at
me.
the Flying J.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, not to draw this out too much, but how do you determine that someone got ran over by their own car
Exactly. Like
without it being driven by somebody else?
She was the only person in the car.
Yeah, when they
And
found
she
the
was
car.
and she was
no
outside
kidding.
of the car, supposedly run over by her own car.
Now you could do that. I mean, you could be slow rolling, jump out the car and go run in front of it, but doubt it.
You'd have to. I mean,
You could probably do that.
You'd have to have that thing facing downhill for it to get. I mean, you'd have to get wedged up and under
And put your
let
head
you, like,
underneath it.
drag your head and
Yeah.
grind your skull down into your brain for it to kill you.
Well, don't get
I mean, seriously.
American History X over there.
I mean,
Yeah, that's wild. So, if you go through Calhoun, don't stop at the
Yeah.
Flying J.
Golly, yeah, it's
Yeah.
all around there.
yeah.
Lot
They
lizard.
need to
It's
shut
a
that place down.
Bad business over
lot
there.
lizards.
I don't know what's going on over there.
Well, this is pretty dismal.
That's in Gordon County, Georgia. That's off I-75, by the way, for all you travelers.
That's where there's a Buc-ee's there.
Oh,
A lot of people
gosh.
go there.
Oh, a lot of people. Yeah, the Buc-ee's be packed out.
I don't mess around with the Buc-ee's.
I went into one,
Seems safer than a
And-
Flying J.
used the bathroom, and went out. Now, they did have a clean bathroom. You could eat off that bathroom floor.
Yeah.
You could put your food on the floor. And
Oh, yeah, I did it one time before.
Dang, Rip. You had the Bucky?
Oh, yeah. I know Bucky.
Good gosh.
That's almost intolerable.
He's a guest, bub.
Got
Rip.
super chats.
You got any super chats, Parrish?
I mean, what is the deal? Whose idea was that
what's that?
to invite that thing on?
Blake.
I'd rather have Paris James in that seat. Can we make that arrangement?
Yeah, he can sit over there.
I'm going to try me a pull of this after this podcast is over.
We got Marty Bingham coming at $9.99.
I knew it.
I'm sugar loading for this weekend's Merrill Mile. I'm pretty sure that's what Chili and Chad said to do on the running class I bought a while back.
What the crap? Marty Merrill's Mile was last week. Did they change the date of it? It's usually July 4th weekend.
He come back in at $4.99, said, or maybe it was crack. Anyway,
Whoa.
I signed up for the 12-hour segment, but I think I can do it in 11 if I hustle.
Nope, it's this weekend. They changed the date. It's usually last week.
He said he signed up for the 12-hour, but he thinks he can get it done in 11 if he hustles.
Thank you, Marty.
And he come back in at $19.99. How long should Redbeard the Vast be MIA on the Yukon before we divvy up his stuff and Famous Amos takes his seat on the podcast? I'm thinking 30 minutes.
Bad boom.
Now, if something happened to Chad on this Yukon trip, you'd be sad, Marty.
Yeah, he would. Thank you, Marty.
Thank you, Marty.
Thank you, Marty.
We got Ultra Lawyer coming in at
That's
$19.99.
Dan, ain't it?
Yeah.
And we love you guys.
Thank you, Dan.
Love you, brother. Ultra lawyer.
Yeah. He's a good
Zach Kirshner coming in at $9.99.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna be a dad this week. Excited and
Dang.
nervous. Would appreciate any prayers for Shannon for these next few days. Thank you for all y'all do.
Heck yeah, that's came up
That's big.
fast.
That's
Yep.
big, Zach.
That's big. It's real big.
Shoot, yeah.
Change your life. Won't it?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
About the biggest life changing thing you can do.
Yeah.
Other than die.
Yeah.
Other than die.
Oh, when you die, it's gonna change you up big time,
Yeah.
bud. That's gonna be spectacular.
Timmy Heaps come in at $9.99. I've
remember-
always wanted to go to Normandy. I'll go to Normandy with you, CB.
Oh, that'd be pretty big. You got to ruck though, Timmy. Got to hit that ruck.
And the last one, Timmy Heaps, $1.99. You got a great accent corn.
See,
Oh, jeez.
tell y'all.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate y'all. Cut it off.